Okay, so now we move on to the git reflog command. So this command works with 4 different subcommands, but the good news for us is we only need to care about one, which is the git reflog show subcommand. The other 3, expire, delete, and exists, are not really used. And when I say that, I'm not just being a lazy teacher who doesn't want to show you. The documentation, if we take a look for git reflog, it actually says exactly that. For example, for expire, it says, this is typically not used directly by end users. For delete, something similar. This subcommand is also typically not used directly by end users. The only subcommand they really document and show examples of is show. So I'm not making it up. We really just need to know about show. And the show command or subcommand is pretty straightforward. We pass a reference, head, or a branch tip, or a remote branch, and then we will see a log. We'll see a printed version of the stored reflog. So I'll show you that. Let's do git reflog show head. We've been looking, or we've seen this head reflog file right here. All these entries. I'm not sure how, maybe 60 something different entries in here. Maybe fewer, 50s. Anyway, if I run this command, git reflog show head, we see a log similar to git log, but it's not the same. Okay, for one, this includes things git log does not include. For example, if you check out a branch, right? Git log doesn't care that you checked out a branch. It doesn't add a new entry. Git log is just a log of a commit and its parents commit and its parents and so on and so forth, on and on. But it doesn't include things like checking out. Also, this is all going to be a history of things, right? So we could delete commits, we could rebase, but we're still going to see entries from when we did that. For example, here I did a reset. This was before I was recording. Actually, I recorded this video a couple times. It was in a previous version of this video that will never see the light of day. So I made a reset, right? And I deleted a commit. But the thing is, that commit was actually right here. So this is that commit that I deleted. And the crazy part is I still have that hash. In git log, that hash is completely gone because I did a reset. Anyway, we'll talk more about the differences in the utility of reflogs, but I hope it's clear that there's a difference. This is keeping every single thing, assuming it's been less than 90 days and it's all local, it's keeping track of every change to head. Git log is just going to show me a lot more in this case, in terms of the number of lines, but it's only going to show me a clear history from one commit to its parent and so on. So there's stuff that I've done that I may have lost, I may have deleted, I may have reset and rebased. I don't have record of that on git log, but I may have record in my reflog. Anyway, we see starting from the very beginning up here, the first line is actually the most recent change, the most recent entry in the head reflog. And then down here is the oldest thing. So I first cloned this repository, and so head, when I cloned, was pointing to this commit. So we can see the commits that it was referring to over time. For head, right? So currently head is pointing to this, it's pointing to master, but master is right here, D83. But also we can see, what happened. So in this case, I moved from a commit, detached head, back to the master branch. And then I moved from the turtle branch to detached head, right? So this is what I did one move ago. I went to detached head, and then here, most recently, I left and I went back to master. You'll also see this notation, head at, curly braces, a number. So this syntax refers to a particular entry in a reflog. So the most recent entry is head at 0, and in my case, head at 56 is the very last thing, the oldest thing in the reflog for head. So this syntax can be very useful because we can actually pass this around and reference this reflog entry syntax. We can pass that to other commands. And there's fancier things we'll get to. I'll show you in a little bit. But yes, each one of those lines has its own reflog identifier, but they are relative. So this was the very first thing that happened to head. I cloned. And so right now it's 56. And head 0 is checking out when I move from detached head to master. But if I make a new move, right, if I switch to the donkey branch I have, and if I look at that reflog again, Now, head 0 is something different, right? This is the most recent thing. This used to be head 0, but now it's not. And at the bottom, we now have head 57. So the point is that these change, right? These are not set in stone, these numbers. And each one of these, each number, is used to indicate a particular entry in the ref log, in this case for head. But we're not limited to looking at the head ref logs. For example, I can pass some other reference that we want to look at. Let's see, the donkey branch. Is there anything that's happened here? Two things. I first made the donkey branch. That was the commit we were on. And then I made my first commit. So unlike the head reference, right? The head reference is updated when I switch branches, when I make commits. There's a bunch of things that change head. But here, this is just showing us the donkey tip of the donkey branch, and that only changes when the donkey branch itself is updated. So switching branches doesn't do anything. But if I make a new commit, we'll see a new entry. Echo haha. We'll put that in a file called haha.txt. We'll add that. We'll commit. I'm just making a commit. Add haha. Okay. So we have this new commit. If I do a git log, we'll see a new commit on the donkey branch 7c1. So that means donkey, that branch reference, was updated. The tip moved. So if I do a git reflog show donkey, now we have 3 entries. We added this new commit, so that is the most recent change, the most recent entry in the reflog. And notice the syntax is the same here. We have a reference name, so it's not head, it's donkey now, but the same principle, at, and then some entry number. So this is something we'll come back to in the next video. There are other qualifiers we can pass in, but the basic syntax is the same. This is a way of referring to a particular entry in the donkey reflog. Okay, so I'll stop this video here. We'll talk more about this syntax and some fancy things that we can do with reflogs up next.